Hi everybody. I am currently undergoing construction in my kitchen, so I'm soon to lose my kitchen, all of this area. That's why I haven't had any decorations in my kitchen for a while if you've been watching my videos. But there's a lot of banging going on out there, so if this video becomes super loud and annoying, I apologize. But I wanted to get this information to you because I want to surprise my assistant this morning, and I want to make her a protein latte. So it'll taste like it's going to eventually taste like a mocha. So I'm going to make it for her and leave her a little note and kind of surprise her with it because I've already drank my coffee this morning, so I don't need one. And then I thought I would try to show you guys how I do it. So if you hear all this noise, I apologize, but I'm not making an excuse of why I can't do the video. I'm going to do the video anyways. So I'm going to start with my coffee, and we use bulletproof coffee. We use decaf, but we use bulletproof coffee because it's actually really low mold, and it's supposed to be pesticide free. Dave Asprey is an awesome guy, and I love all of his books. So if you haven't read any of the Dave Asprey books, I would definitely do that. That would be one thing I would start with. So I use his coffee and only his coffee. I used to get a headache every time I drank a cup of coffee, every single time. And now I literally don't get a headache anymore from doing Dave Asprey's Bulletproof Coffee. I do the ground coffee. I have this Cuisinart coffee maker, and it has a Keurig attached to it, but I just do the coffee that's already ground. So I'm going to start with filling this Yeti cup halfway full for her of the coffee. And then I've got my Vitamix here, but I mean, it doesn't matter what kind of a blender you have. You certainly don't need the Vitamix for this because it doesn't have to be powerful. So I'm going to throw this in here. And then I am going to add the Vital Proteins chocolate, the chocolate version. So this is collagen. So I'm going to add a scoop of collagen to try to make this a mocha for her. And that's going to get her 9 grams of protein in that cup of coffee. So if you're adding the collagen, one thing that you want to take into consideration is that you are adding, oh, okay. Well, that can go on the bloopers reel. One thing that you want to take into consideration is that you are adding protein to the coffee. So you want to take that protein into consideration for the rest of your day. You don't want to just add collagen to every cup of coffee that you drink and then not take any of the protein into consideration. Otherwise, at the end of the day, you're going to end up taking in 30 grams more protein than you really should be. Okay. So we have like 1 or 2 cabinets that has stuff in it. So it's like all super packed because we're getting ready to pack everything. So what I'm going to also do is I'm going to add some pure stevia. So the Now Foods pure stevia. So the only ingredient that is going to be in that stevia is stevia. There's no maltodextrin, there's no dextrose, there's no corn sugars, there's nothing in it that shouldn't be in it. And so I put 3 spoonfuls of that in there so it just has a little bit of a sweeter taste because I think that's kind of how she makes her coffee anyways. And then I have what's called a milk frother over here. And it is the brand Smeg. And so I'm going to throw this into the milk frother. And it's basically a cup's worth of unsweetened vanilla coconut milk. So I'm going to get that frothing. And the unsweetened vanilla coconut milk that I use is the 365 brand. It is vanilla flavored. And I'm telling you, it makes a huge, huge difference. It's unsweet. It's so much different if you get the vanilla one versus getting the plain one. Let me show you another brand that I get. Whole Foods sells both of these, but Dierberg's actually sells this one. So if you don't go to Whole Foods, you can get this one at Dierberg's. And this is the So Delicious brand. So unsweetened vanilla coconut milk would be something that I would add to it to really cream it up. And then I'd like to add a little bit of a fat source for her. So I've got this bulletproof MCT oil, which is called brain octane oil. And so I'm just going to put maybe a half of a tablespoon in here, if even that, just to give her a little bit of fat, to kind of give her a little more energy this morning and maybe a little bit more brain power. Now, you don't ever want to put this brain octane oil in unless you're going to blend it, because this really will disrupt your digestion. Your bowels will not be happy with you if you just try to consume this by stirring it into your coffee. That's a bad idea. You want it to become like emulsified to where it's all together, and you end up getting the oil kind of becomes part of it. Now, if you're trying to get off dairy and you're trying to not take in Coffee Mate, which is absolute just complete poison, and I would recommend avoiding Coffee Mate at all costs. And if you're wanting to not have half and half anymore, coconut milk is the route I would suggest going, because ultimately coconut milk has that same thickness and that same creaminess that the half and half or a more dairy-based product would have. So I think you'll find that you really will enjoy the taste of coconut milk. And if it's the vanilla one, it doesn't have that strong coconut flavor. So I think you'll find that you can go from a creamy half and half to this easier than almond milk. I have nothing against almond milk. There's nothing wrong with almond milk. There's no reason why you shouldn't have almond milk. I just don't feel like almond milk has the same depth to it, the same thickness, and the same creaminess to it. So I typically always recommend people go to coconut milk first unless you have some sort of allergy and coconut doesn't work for you. Okay, so I've got my milk frothing here. I'm going to go ahead and stop that so it's just warming it up for me. This Smeg milk frother has the ability to actually make your milk ice cold too. So if you want to make like a cold latte, like kind of like something you would get at Starbucks, you could do that as well. So just know that it doesn't have to be a hot latte. If you wanted to make an iced latte, you could do the same thing. And if you wanted to use that Smeg milk frother, now there's plenty of other brands of milk frothers out there. I love the look of those, so I've invested in them. It is a great product, and I do have a Nespresso milk frother that I take on vacation with me. I do use that brand, and I think that that's a good milk frother as well. Okay, so I'm gonna threw it all in the Vitamix. I've got my protein powder, the chocolate collagen. I have the coffee. I have the 1 cup of unsweetened vanilla coconut milk. I have the 3 little spoons full of stevia. And then I have about a half a tablespoon of brain octane oil or MCT oil, which is a bulletproof branded product. And I'm just gonna get this thing mixing. Just enough to get it all combined. It's not like we're trying to do anything extreme to it. And so I've just basically made her a mocha free of all the toxins and all the poisons that you will get for yourself when you go to Starbucks. I have nothing against Starbucks. I'm sure the owner is very nice, and it's possible that you can go there and just get coffee. Then I would go and get coffee. Although I do believe that Starbucks is not going to be a coffee that is going to be mold free or that's going to be pesticide free. So I would maybe look into a bulletproof coffee instead versus having a coffee that could potentially have pesticides in it or have mold in it. That could be potentially bringing you to a point to where you're having a headache. Be careful of the types of stevia. Be careful what's in your stevia. That can really cause you an issue too. You know, if you're having maltodextrin, dextrose, if you're having any fillers like erythritol, which is a sugar alcohol, then you will get a headache, then you will feel off. You may feel more hungry from it. I hope this helps you guys. I've got this in the Yeti cup. I'm going to put it on my island. And when my assistant comes over today, it's going to be nice and warm for her. I'm going to leave her a little note. I'm going to tell her how much she blesses my life and how much I appreciate her, and that I wouldn't be able to do what I do every day without her. So whoever is that important to you today, I would challenge you to tell them, because they may need to hear that today. God bless you guys. Have a wonderful day.